and there's dancing and merriment all over the land when the average Nigerian remembers its Human Rights Day today. Or maybe not. Well, Human Rights Day is celebrated annually around the world on 10 December every year. The date was chosen to honor the United Nations General Assembly's adoption and proclamation on 10 December 1948 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the first global enunciation of human rights and one of the first major achievements of the new United Nations. The formal establishment of Human Rights Day occurred at the 317th plenary meeting of the General Assembly on 4 December 1950, when the General Assembly declared Resolution 4235 inviting all member states and any other interested organizations to celebrate the day as they saw fit. Now, the day is normally marked by both high-level political conferences and meetings and by cultural events and exhibitions dealing with human rights issues. Well, several talking points. What are human rights really? What exactly are they? And is the upholding of these human rights, are they a priority in Nigeria? Are these rights enforceable also? And bringing it home, what are human rights record like in Nigeria at the moment? And this is another related matters we're discussing right now. Well, joining me for this conversation is Henry Akine, is a lawyer. He's also the legal advisor for the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, CDHR. Henry, good evening to you. You're welcome to Hardfacts.
Adedayo, good evening to you too. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. And happy World Human Rights Day.
Same to you, Henry. Now, from what I read, the explanation I read out from Wikipedia just a while ago, the last paragraph or so I read, stated that the event is normally marked by conferences, meetings, cultural events, exhibitions, all dealing with human rights issues. You just wrapped up one such event today as well. What was yours? Was it a high-level political conference, a meeting, cultural event, exhibition? What event were you referring to?
What we just started off now is a symposium on human rights in commemoration, of course, the 73rd United Nations International Human Rights Day. So we just had a symposium on promoting human rights.
And that's when you say we, you're referring to CDHR, I believe.
So CDHR, of course. And then we had other organizations that came around that were invited. I would give credit to a few of them that came. FIDA was invited and they put up representation. Even if they have their own program today, we have had that kind of collaboration and synergy from time to time. We also had other human rights organizations and civil society organizations that came around, and some institutions of government, particularly the Nigeria Correctional Service was presented as well. And then, of course, members and members of the public as well.
If you don't mind my asking, Henry, I imagine it was, great. If you don't mind my asking, what is the essence of all these symposia and these conferences? I mean, do we just like to gather in some air-conditioned, nice environment and present papers and address each other while we're very well dressed in our well-tailored suits and dresses, and have tea or have a tea break, simply have lunch afterwards and pat ourselves back for a job well done? Or do they have consequences on society beyond these particular days and beyond the gatherings and presentations that are made?
Oh no, all of the particular days that have been declared by the United Nations, including this one, is actually to re-emphasize the essence of that subject matter, really. So for the Human Rights Day, usually held on the 10th of December, actually, apart from every other activity, every other program that may have gone on through the year, any day for any particular subject matter of interest to the United Nations is to re-emphasize and of course drive the theme of that year and again come out with resolutions to fix some of the inadequacies even in that area. For instance, now, it's been observed that despite the existence of the international instruments and of course municipal laws as well on the rights of citizens, all of which emphasize on equality, but it does appear that 73 years we still have this fundamental principle of human rights not being realized. So it means that for this year, until the next International Human Rights Day, that is for this 1 year, emphasis and focus is going to be on reducing inequality. And of course, with that, hoping that reducing inequalities will advance human rights. So each year of a declaration of a particular day, the essence really is to emphasize and focus on an issue that will drive the activities for that year until the next thing is set up.
Oh, let's talk about what the actual matter is there in the subject human rights. What exactly are they, these human rights?
Well, human rights broadly, we need to emphasize that they are those inalienable, inviolable rights that inure to any individual for the fact that they're a human being, and that they are fundamental in such a way, or that they are rights to a human being, because there are no rights that would inure to non-humans, really, that you, by virtue of being a human being, being a person, an entity, that you have these rights yourself. That's the essence. But then what then are rights in terms of the examples? For instance now, it is because you're a human being that you have a life. It is because you have this life as a human being that the life must be protected. We can cut trees down. You can kill an animal. You can probably even perhaps denigrate your environment, as we pollute our environment every day. Of course, one of the issues that was discussed today and taken up by a professor of philosophy in the University of Port Harcourt was the issue of suits. The suits ravaging the university environment. So you can do all of that. You can destroy your environment. But for humans, those rights that distinguish humans, that actually make humans different from other objects, are those definitions that give the essence that you are a human being because you have life. And this life you have must not be taken away by anybody. And then you must talk. You are not given the right to talk by government. When God created you, or whatever religion you hold, and because you're a human being, you make sound and you must talk. So nobody should